Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Biohazard 2 Real Survival. In the last episode, Claire Redfield finally left the police station behind her as she and Sherry Birkin ventured towards the unknown by going through the sewers running beneath Raccoon City, and hopefully to a way outside of all this insanity. Unfortunately, they ran across Brian Irons, who in turn was killed by the GBOW that's been skulking around the police precinct. The same GBOW that is still after Sherry Birkin. How and why are questions for later. Unfortunately, Claire and Sherry are once again separated after reuniting because Sherry has fallen down a sewer chute and is in a different part of the sewer from Claire. Now she has to make her way on alone with nothing else to help her. And this way is barred. The only way forward is the side area here. And Sherry, unfortunately, having the physique of a 12-year-old, climbs fairly slowly. There is a door over here. But even though now we're in the sewers, we're not free of any possible dangers. Case in point, zombie right there. Fortunately, we have an alerted zombie, and also fortunately, zombies can't actually bite Sherry, even though they can do so. Oh! Unfortunately, there is an enemy. There is an enemy that can, Ooh, that is an enemy that, cockroaches. Get off. Oh, cockroaches are so utterly annoying. They're fast, there are many of them, but fortunately they haven't brought, Sherry down to caution. And lo and behold, we're at a trash depot here in the sewers of Raccoon City. But what is this that's here amidst this pile of debris? Unbeknownst to Sherry, and definitely unbeknownst to Claire Redfield, but certainly not unfamiliar to biohazard veterans like myself. Excuse me one moment. There we go. My voice was catching up for a bit. But as I was saying, we have found an iconic item. This is the wolf medal. For those of you who have been following me thus far, and those of you who should be familiar with Biohazard, the wolf medal and its companion, the eagle medal, were emblems that were the means of which one could get into the Arclay laboratory by means of the fountain entrance. The eagle medal was labelled Eagle of East, and the wolf medal was labelled Wolf of West. But your eyes are not deceiving you, adventurers, for the original versions of these medals did go up in smoke along with the laboratory which they opened. But these are replicas, so to speak. Sherry now has the wolf medal, and it stands to reason that there could very well be an eagle medal somewhere around here.
Claire? Oh.
That is truly unfortunate for Sherry Birkin indeed. The the gate is open, and Claire cannot reach Sherry from up here. She probably could jump down, but unfortunately it's too small for her to fit through, which is always a bit of a problem. And Claire has very little time at this point because, as we've all witnessed, the GBOW mutant has unfortunately finally managed to catch up with Sherry Birkin. Now, this is where things get a little tricky, adventurers, because this is probably where the real survival aspect of this Let's Play is going to kick my ass, as it were. Now, wait a minute. I'm able to backtrack. Well, considering the fact that we don't know where Sherry is, oh, thank you for not screwing me over, Biohazard 2, because there are certain situations where Claire cannot proceed without Sherry, at all. Although I'm still keeping my fingers crossed. Although, of course, little does Claire realize that Sherry herself is in terrible imminent danger, and this is incredibly cool of me. But this is a real survival Let's Play. We're not, well, we will be done with the police station first and foremost, but now that I'm here, I'm actually going to backtrack to the save room, because I'm still doing this on real survival, as much as possible. I genuinely was terrified that Biohazard 2 would screw me over in this regard. But lo and behold... Oh, I'm gonna have to go back for that first aid spray! This is, yeah, this is going to be, a bit annoying, but, yeah, as per, actually I'll leave one of these here, because I have to go back for that first aid spray. It's in the downstairs room. Because I'm not using Z-Space item boxes. Not for this Let's Play. Tedious as it may be, this was the way that Biohazard was originally meant to be played. Time consuming, but it is more realistic. But I will be leaving the combat knife for all eternity to rot in the police station forever. But I'm so incredibly glad that Claire could actually, again, as callous as it sounds, abandoning Sherry in her time of need. But I just wanted to make sure that I could go back. Because we have some item management to do. I'm keeping cautious. I'm keeping preparation for item management. Because if I couldn't backtrack to the police station, that probably would have been it as far as I would have had to have fudged the real survival aspect of this LP. Don't need those ink ribbons, but I'll take the valve handle just in case, because leaving it there means I will have to backtrack for it. For those of you who are complaining that I'm not doing this the normal way, this is normal for me. This is adding a somewhat interesting depth of challenge. Because the police station, while the police station is very open-ended, the sewers themselves are fairly linear. So that makes item management essential for a real survival stipulation. And there is no way that I'm violating real survival after I've come this far. Actually, I might very well come back for the bowgun after I've rescued Sherry, just to, or maybe it'll be better that, actually, you know what, scratch that. It will actually be better if I do all this now, because if I have Sherry with me and unfortunately I have to leave her behind and I have to keep her with me, then that's going to be a problem. That is ultimately going to bite me in the ass later on. And it is too dark to see what is inside the sewer grate. And lo and behold, a pair of blue herbs. It's almost like we will be fighting enemies that will poison us. But lo and behold, here is the first save room of the sewer system. And I want to read what's on this document here. Sewer Manager Facts. User list of the connecting facility. On the first and third Wednesdays of the month, Angelica Margaret, Chief of Maintenance, will make use of the facilities. Be sure to reduce the moisture levels in the facility by activating the fan, as the equipment she will be using is susceptible to the effects of water vapors. On the 28th of each month, or on the 28th of every month, the chemical transporter Don Weller will use the facility. The chemicals that he will be transporting are extremely volatile. Extreme caution should be observed throughout their transport. On the 6th and 16th of every month, Police Chief Brian Irons will visit the facility to attend the regular meetings that take place in the lab. On the 4th Friday of every other month, William Birkin will use the facility to conduct a training seminar for the Chicago branch of Umbrella Incorporated. As the probability of an attack upon Dr. Birkin will be very high, take every measure conceivable to guard his life. You will be informed of all other potential visitors and times they will arrive, as needed. Guide these individuals to their destination safely. We expect nothing from the best of you. And, it's signed Charles Coleman, Secretary-Chief, Umbrella Headquarters. Wow. We actually get a important file document from one of the Umbrella higher-ups himself. This indicates that Irons is not only simply on the payroll of Umbrella, or at least he was until his death, but he was actually heavily involved in the conspiracy, given the fact that he was aware of the G virus and the T virus. So he wasn't just, well, he was kind of a lapdog, but he was a lapdog who actually did have quite a bit of information, and given his position as chief of police. But it's actually ironic that the secretary-chief of the Umbrella Corporation would advise their employees to safeguard the life of their top scientist, William Birkin, given the fact that it's the Umbrella Corporation that are ultimately trying to sabotage him so that they can keep the G virus to themselves. The sewer manager fax has been filed. And there is a conveniently placed bag here on the table. Lo and behold, 30 handgun bullets. That is incredibly generous. And there is a typewriter. Me just running into the table there momentarily. And lo and behold, an item box. And that knife will remain forever locked away. I'll put away the first aid sprays and the valve handle. Ooh, and there's a locker. It's an old locker. Oh, thank you, first aid spray. Third first aid spray. I won't mind if I take you. I'll just store you away in the item box for safekeeping, just in case. There we go. And I will be backtracking to get those other items out from the police station from the waiting room. And I'll also be taking those blue herbs with me in the onset that I get poisoned. I am actually quite grateful that Biohazard 2 didn't stab me in the back as I was doing this, because I didn't actually think that this was going to be possible to do this. I was nervous at first whether or not a real survival let's play of Biohazard 2 would in fact be possible, but I was lucky this time, so I should definitely count my blessings. And, given the fact that I almost certainly won't be able to backtrack to the police station altogether, that'll be fine. Because in the original Biohazard, it was literally possible to backtrack all the way from the Arclight laboratory all the way back to the mansion. I'm doing this all on screen so that you will know that I'm not subverting the real survival stipulations. I set myself this challenge, and I will hold myself to it. Don't you worry, adventurers. Well, we'll be done with this fairly soon, and I probably should have kept the lighter and the probably should have put the lighter and the that herb in that item box just in case, because it would actually make doing this a little bit easier. But this will be the last time I'll be doing this, don't you worry. And then we can finally move on to the sewers and rescue Sherry. Take the ink ribbons, bowgun, bolts, and the herb. And I'm going to have to say fairly well to the there are some more ink ribbons, another save box that I won't be using, because I've actually got plenty of ink ribbons right now. But I am actually going to I'm going to take it. What am I saying? Of course I'm going to take the Colt single army action pistol. Or actually keep me from screwing up the inventory management altogether. And then it's off through the sewers to find and rescue Sherry Birkin and to make it through the dangers completely, not entirely unscathed, but at least that means we can circumvent the city streets and not have to wander through hordes of zombies. But the yeah, we will eventually have to come across the G bioweapon that unfortunately has run into Sherry Birkin at the worst possible moment. But this is a necessary evil, adventurers. I promised myself that I would do this Unreal Survival, and I shall. And if Biohazard 2 is going to give me the opportunity to fulfill that obligation, then I am certainly not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. We are done with the police station once and for all. I will not be backtracking. Ever. I would rather do this all now, and not screw myself over later in this Let's Play adventure. But I've already wasted enough time with this. So without further ado, the time has come to finally make our way forward. And I will get those 2 blue herbs, just in case. Because on the offset that I ever get poisoned, it's going to be pretty rough. It's going to be pretty rough indeed. But lo and behold, yeah, I know I left that ink ribbon in the darkroom save box. I don't care. And I think I'll hold on to those ink ribbons because I'm almost certain that there were some by this typewriter. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there are. Not going to save just yet, but I will save soon enough. And might actually wonder if it's worth. No, I'll get the herbs. I'll get the herbs and I'll deal with any situation that arises. Because blue herbs cure poison. And won't say no to the ability to cure poison. I'll store one of them away into the item box, and I'll keep one on hand just in case. I do believe that is I am pretty good. Now there is an elevator just over there, as you can see. And, this apparently is a device to regulate the quality of sewage water. So, judging from the files, that Umbrella is using the sewer as a waypoint between the police station and the laboratory. And the store is locked. But fortunately Claire has the lockpick. Now the way is open. I should switch back to the trusty Browning for now, because there's a ladder here that leads down. Down, down, down we go. And lo and behold, adventurers, we're in a very familiar room. Believe it or not. Indeed, this is the exact same room that Sherry was in, and that was very good shooting there, Tex. And I'm going to waste my 4 bullets because I'm going to manually reload as part of the stipulation challenge. But yeah, this was the very room that Sherry Birkin found herself in. And this way is obviously the door where she came in. And this is the vent that she went through, and we can't follow her. But, ooh, there's something here. No, that's just, actually, that might just be the zombie glitching through the scenery there. But, I believe there is something, on this shelf here. Grenade rounds. Won't say no to those. Any opportunity to conserve acid rounds, the better. And, we're still SOL on finding Sherry, unfortunately, and there are a lot of sewer materials and nicks and knacks and whatever, but there really is nothing else here, and we don't need to go through the door that Sherry came through because there is no point in doing so. So back up we go once again to the save room. I think it will it could actually wondering if it is going to be to my benefit to leave behind the acid rounds. I'll leave the lighter for now, because it's a nice keepsake, but I need the extra inventory space, and I'll keep everything else. Everything else is good and golden. I believe the time has come to finally use this elevator. Head down to another level of the sewers. Still no sign of Sherry, and these corridors are ominously narrow. There appears to be an elevator shaft on the opposing side, but the elevator is clearly up, and we can't use it. So, our only way forward is down through this corridor here. And, lo and behold, there is a map. Which I'm definitely going to peruse. Have a look at where we're going. There's the save room that we were in, and there is another area of the sewer that Claire cannot reach. There's the lower end of the sewer, the place that we were in, and the ventilation shaft that Sherry managed to reach, and unfortunately we can't get to. We are going to have to go the long way around, which is apparently to the right. There are a lot of rooms and passageways around here. And where we go, I suppose. And there are some sounds coming from around the corridor, so I'm going to be fairly quick about this. Something bad definitely happened in this corridor here, but I won't say no to flame rounds. But notice these bodies here, and I'm going to pause, just in case, because I don't want whatever's crawling around outside to sneak up on me while I'm trying to explain things. But if you actually look closely at these uniforms, these people appear to be dressed in some form of military garb. Now, believe it or not, these two suspiciously dressed individuals are in fact members of Umbrella's vaunted security squad. So basically the same security team that was also stationed at the mansion that unfortunately met a very unfortunate end. These guys are trained professionals, and yet even they were killed by something. And speaking of getting killed, we want to get out of here as quickly as possible. Because say hello to an old friend. Spiders in the sewer. Spiders. An entire legion of spiders. Who doesn't love nostalgia critics? Ooh, spider is fast, and spider can poison. And there are many of them. That's very unfortunate. But, lo and behold, there are a pair of blue herbs growing here. But we don't need to use them because we're lucky enough not to get poisoned. But yeah, spiders are back. They can, like the lickers, they can crawl up and round on the ceiling, but unlike the lickers, and much like the chimera, they are incredibly fast. So their only way forward is down this corridor. So let's proceed before anything else happens.
Who are you? Oh, I see. Another spy sent by Umbrella, right? Let me guess. You're here to steal my husband's G-Virus, aren't you? You are tenacious, I'll give you that.
Husband? Then you must be Annette. Sherry's mother?
What?
Sherry's wandering around alone in the sewers. You have to help me find her.
That's impossible. I told her to go to the police station. What's she doing here? William will be after her.
William?
That's right. The creature that's been causing all this destruction is none other than my own husband.
This way.
It's sheer perfection. My precious G-Virus. No one will ever take you away from me.
There he is.
So you finally come.
Doctor, we're here to collect the G-Virus sample.
Sorry, but I won't just hand over my life's work.
Doctor, you might hit the sample. That's it, all right. Okay, let's move out.
William! Oh my! Hold on, darling. I'm taking care of that bullet wound first. Stay here.
Alpha team, have you retrieved the sample yet?
Affirmative. We'll be at the rendezvous point in 1 minute.
Roger.
Are you telling me that he injected the G-Virus into his own body?
The G-Virus has the ability to revitalize cellular functions.
What was that? Something's wrong. Let's check it out. Over there! Shoot it! Eat this, you freak! The guns aren't stopping it! What is this thing? Hurry! What is this thing? Fire! Fire! Son of a...
So those rats were the carriers of the virus?
As a result of his virus-induced transmutation, William should have lost any prior memories he had as a human by now. I tried to save him, but I'm afraid it's already too late.
But
And that's not even the entire story. Every G-Virus bioweapon, including William, has the ability to implant embryos into other life forms. That's why he's after Sherry.
what are you trying to say?
The bodies of individuals with non-related genetic coding are likely to reject the embryo. But since Sherry is his daughter, that possibility is non-existent. It's an inherent survival instinct.
It's Sherry. You go that way.
Well, there was that was certainly a turn of events, if ever there were one, or was one, I should say, plurals. But that was indeed Annette Birkin, the mother of Sherry Birkin, and the wife and partner of William Birkin. But now we know the full extent of what happened, both here in the sewers and to the city of Raccoon. It seems that the G-mutant bioorganic weapon that's been hunting Sherry all this time is none other than William himself. Made such due to an assassination attempt by the USS Squad themselves, and needless to say, as we saw in the FMV, it didn't go well. The G-Virus and the T-Virus capsules were scattered everywhere, and unfortunately the rats in the sewers ingested the T-Virus and ultimately acted as a vector for spreading it around Raccoon City. Therefore, any people who were unfortunate enough to be bitten by said rats, such as people living homeless and in slums, would unfortunately be a very fitting origin point. And that actually explains how the T-Virus was able to spread throughout Raccoon City as quickly as it did. Not to mention the fact that this strain of T-Virus is far more virulent and potent than its Arclay predecessor. And that basically means that we now know the full story of what happened to the people of Raccoon, but there's no time to stand on ceremony, because we have to hunt for Sherry. But unfortunately it appears we have a bit of a hurdle. Oil pressure data transmitter. Insert the valve handle and rotate it to move the central bridge up or down. We need to go back for the valve handle ASAP. That means running through the spiders again. This is going to be really unfortunate. Go! Go! Run, run, run as fast as you can. Spiders are coming, and they are incredibly dangerous. Run as quickly as possible. Dodge the spiders. Dodge the spiders. Dodge the poison. Get up, you fool, and make it to the valve handle in the item box, and then backtrack all the way. Back we go to the save room. Up we go again. And like the reckless fool that I am, I don't think I am going to save here just yet, believe it or not. But I do need that valve handle. And I believe I'm actually going to keep the grenade rounds on me, because I'm almost certainly going to need them. Especially if we come across the mutated William ourselves. But remember the story that well, I'll actually get to that point in a moment once I get past the spiders. Away, don't panic, don't panic. as the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy will tell you. Don't panic, don't panic. They're just big, giant spiders that can poison you and can crawl around on ceilings. Go, 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 go. Get up there. In the door. I know that wasn't the right way, but we got through. But believe it or not, there is something to be said about Annette's story, because as she mentioned, if you're paying attention, I'll pause here for a moment while I explain. If you were paying attention as I was, you may have heard that Sherry won't quite meet the same fate as the unfortunate Brian Irons, because a foreign host that happens to be incompatible with the G-Imago will ultimately reject it, and it will spawn into the creature that we had to defeat ourselves. But in Sherry's case, since she is genetically William Birkin's daughter, the G-Imago will actually be absorbed into her bloodstream. And the downside to this is that her entire genetic code will ultimately be rewritten, and she will inevitably mutate into a G bioweapon, much like William himself, perpetuating the GBOWs, aside of actual direct injection of the G virus into one's own body, as William did in order to survive. Now, the reason why William injected himself is, of course, was that he hoped to take advantage of the incredible regenerative properties of the G virus, which significantly improved when compared to the T virus, which the T virus did have regenerative capabilities as evidenced by the Tyrant, but the G virus actually is far more potent when it comes to this ability. Unfortunately, the G virus is far from perfect, as we've all witnessed. But I've spent enough time talking. It's time to use the valve handle for its secondary purpose, which is to move this bridge, and something tells me that we're going to have to revert the bridge to its upper position when we actually get there. And there is a herb. I'm actually going to leave that herb, because it is just one herb, and yeah, it is actually very useful to leave that for the time being. And conveniently, actually, having said what I just said, there is a valve handle on the opposite side as well, so I'm actually going to raise the bridge as I said I would do. Which is probably for the best, because we can't actually get up here from down, or get up there from down here. And lo and behold, there are flame rounds. Won't say no to flame rounds, and a typewriter with a couple of ink ribbons in front of it, which I'm almost certainly going to take the time to save, because we're getting to the 45-minute mark. 8th save of the Let's Play, and definitely feeling a bit paranoid, so I am definitely going to save here in the sewer. And I believe that will be it for this episode of Let's Play Biohazard 2 Real Survival. When we return, adventurers, we are definitely going to make haste to Sherry as quickly as possible, and well, unfortunately, we might not be able to save her entirely from the fate that Annette has described to Claire, but we can certainly hope to keep her alive, at the very least. And with that, I leave you, adventurers. As always, until next we meet.